Hey, it's Nicole. I'm back again with another version of Positive Impact for Mind and Body. And today I have a very special guest. She's been on before, but I'm so happy to have her back again. She is co-author of the book, How to Become an Unstoppable Woman. And it's very exciting to me to see her at the forefront of this, I want to say, movement. Alyson McLeod, come and join us. Hi, Alyson. Whoops, let me get you on the stream here.
Hello again. It's so awesome to be here.
Yay! I love talking to you. There's just so much that we share in common, but I also just love talking to you because your history and your experiences speak for themselves. I mean, it's just been an incredible journey for you. So why don't you just tell me a little bit about how first you met the co-authors? I guess it's Lindsay Preston and Adriana Carlos. Are they the ones who kind of spearheaded this book with 26 authors?
Yes, it was Adriana Carlos and her mom, Hannah. So Hannah Olivas also did it. And they started She Rises Studios out of 2020, knowing that, there needs to be sort of, you're right, like you said, this movement of women who come together to really collaborate instead of compete. And that's kind of where we are in the world now. So yeah, the book's been a really, really awesome experience with 24 other women.
It's an amazing, undertaking, I guess, to organize all that information. But why do you think, and I know your story, but why don't you tell everyone why you think they chose you to be a contributing author for this book?
They chose me because they saw me speak at a summit, and everyone really enjoyed the fact that I took them through a meditation, and it was really to look inside for self-care and to calm what was going on so they can really then give more and have more of an impact in the world without that, damaging what it is they want to speak about. Because inside, I think you have so much internal work that you need to do to really make you more amazing out there. And, so many women don't understand how wonderful and amazing they are. And they don't look inside, they're looking outside for different things to fix stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we really have to go inside, and that work might be difficult, but once it's there and you understand it and you love who you are inside, things are magical.
And that this is what I love, Alyson, because this is the ground that we both share. We both enjoy sharing this type of information. I believe the same exact thing you do. So why don't you share with the audience just a little bit about what made you an unstoppable woman?
For me, it was a number of things. And it was, again, going inside, going, okay, I'm taking full responsibility for me, for whatever happens. And what can I do then to make my voice better? And I think to some degree, I still have a small voice because, I'm still working on things, but it's that internal thing that helps me with confidence and esteem. And being unstoppable for me is never giving up, right? It's the resilience. It's knowing that I have a whole tribe behind me, including yourself, all these wonderful women who I can reach out to, I can talk to, I can get resources from, and keep moving forward. And I have days where I'm taken out and I'm sore, or, I'm so busy I miss things sometimes, but it's going, okay, I did that and I'm going to fix it and move forward. And it's just not stopping. And in the book, I talk about things like gratitude and compassion and, things where you can really start being simply starting my day with, okay, Lord, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for me today. Let's do this. And off I go. And it's just a different elevation, I guess, from before when I would just hop out of bed and start running.
Right. So I know a little bit about your personal story, but what did you find was like a pivotal moment for you that you went from victim to unstoppable? Like, where did that happen and why?
A number of things, but I think the most recent, I actually went back to university as a university student, and I took community economics and social development. And a lot of what we do in there is personal work. So it made me, deal with things that I buried from 20, 30 years ago that I didn't want to deal with. and opening that door and making me deal with it and then allowing myself to heal it was very powerful. So I didn't want to rebury it. I knew that it was coming up. It was then in every part of my life. And I had to say, okay, yes, this happened to me. I take responsibility for it, even though it wasn't me doing it. And forgiveness, right? So once I understood the power of forgiveness, then it was like, okay, I can do this. And if I can do this, other women can do this, because what happened was horrible. And in the book, I do talk about it because I was raped a long time ago. And of course, at that point, everyone tells you, oh, just bury it. You're going to be the one on trial, and do you really want to do this? And
That's awful. Just awful.
it is. And they still sometimes do that to women. So it's like, okay, that's not my focus going into those who've been raped, but those who have, really had anything horrible happen to them. How do you deal with it? How do you move forward? How do you not make it your story? But let's uncover exactly your why and your story for your life, and make sure that these are not pitfalls that you're still stumbling over as you go.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have worked with a lot of women who suffered from being a rape victim, and in my Be a Body Psychic courses, and it's really hard, I think, for women to not just get over the event, but to justify in their own mind what they need in order to do that healing process. And some of us have the impetus, like you did, to take a course at a university that opened that door. Other people take my Be a Body Psychic course. Other people just speak to therapists. Although I do find that therapeutic talk is good only if you can do that deeper work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could talk about the event all you want, but there's something inside of you that needed to be heard even before that event happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you feel that way? I feel like, there was something in you that maybe, I don't want to say made you a prime target. Not that you're doing that yourself, but something in your psyche that was not congruent with protection of your own soul, your own self. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. Because looking back, you're right. When I started to talk about it and think about it, I was trusting a person for something totally outside of myself.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go talk about, how I can help you, get engaged to my brother, or how can I help you do this? Like, you're with somebody who you trust.
Yeah.
Because of something that they're going to use in your vulnerability. And you're right, I did not see it coming because I was so focused on, yes, I want that ring. Yes, I want this. Yes, I want that. And, I was really, just coming out of my teens and scared and, away from family and friends. So it was like, okay, this is my forever. And you're right. It's just that block where there is no protection. I'm not looking to, what do I need inside? I'm looking to something external.
And I think a lot of that, and not to blame all parents and everything, but there's something about the raising of a child that doesn't feel like they need to be aware or protect themselves or have other people stand up for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that there's a whole generation of women out there just being told, just stand there and look good, but we don't really want to hear what you have to think or say or whatever. And a lot of times we didn't even know at that age that we needed protection. So I go back to parenting is so important, and knowing what you're doing and when and why it's important. But in this process, did you, while you're writing this, did you feel, I don't know, was it very cathartic, or did you feel differently about what you want to do for a living? I mean, how did you process that whole experience and come to where you are today? Like, are you working with people right now?
I have a couple of women I am working with, and we're going through stuff. And 2020 was really pivotal for me. And it was not only just being a university student, but I really sat down and said, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do with my life? Because I'm a health coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach, I'm all over the map. Do you want me to just do one? How do you want that to play out? And it took that year of, again, looking inside. What do you want me to do? Where are my strengths? To put together a whole program. But it involved, first and foremost, again, looking inside and saying, who am I? What's my why? What's my vision and mission? And how do I put that into relationships and my health and wellness and contribution, and look at that. So when I'm writing now, it's a different kind of writing because I'm open to share. Mm-hmm. I didn't share any vulnerabilities. I'm not going to be the one standing on the cliff about to fall off. No, I'm not going to tell anybody that, because it was very scary for me before. Because when you talk about protection, growing up, I was the first of 4 kids. So I was pretty much protected from everything and didn't even know it. So I didn't have to make decisions. Right. And then all of a sudden at 18, I'm, 8 hours away in a big city. So what's a girl to do? Right?
Yeah, it's a very experience. Mm-hmm.
It is. And a lot of young women do it. I see it at university, right? I was helping those who've gone through similar situations. So, that's what brought me to the point to say, okay, let's help women really find out who they want to be and where they want to go. And then how do you do that in all other areas of your life and make it congruent? So, you have the joy, you have the bliss, you have financial security, your relationships are strong, you understand discernment, so you have the protection and all of that going on. So, yeah, it's fascinating to go through that now and actually have such a solid foundation moving forward.
I think that's fantastic. Yeah, and just having all of those elements support the end result, like where do you want to be, where do you want to go? Healing in and of itself is admirable, but then going ahead and teaching that kind of healing to other people is superior. I think it's phenomenal what you're doing. That's crazy great.
Thank you.
Sure. I noticed that a lot of people who suffer, throughout their lives for different reasons too, in their own mind, they kind of justify it. Don't you find that? Like every once in a while you come across someone who's just in denial about needing to give it up, and they just justify it like, no, but I'm right, and you may be right, but you're also going to suffer for it,
Oh, it's true. It's true. One of my almost clients, we were talking the other day, and she's a little older than I am, but she's sticking in a marriage because, when he dies, I get all this.
Oh.
And I'm like, so you don't understand your value if he wasn't there. And I get that because I was married. And when I was married.
Oh, that's huge.
Right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to be there. Like, you have to understand who you are first.
You just gave me chills.
Oh, that was such a hard conversation for her. Yeah. And she's like, I said, if he wasn't there and you lost everything, what would you do? And she had no idea. No idea.
And that's something you can speak to personally. I menh, you've been there literally and had businesses and had to lose it all basically to kind of regain yourself. I admire that. And I do see a lot of people kind of settling and just, living with the abusive spouse, living with the terrible conditions, living with the negligence or neglect, and just because of that reason, because, they anticipate at the end of the day, they're going to get something out of it,
It's true.
It's kind of sad. But so how would you structure, for instance, if someone were looking to do that, start over again without the spouse, or start a new business, or, just kind of learn how to be independent? How would you, what advice would you give?
First off, I want them to start and look inside, right? Like, who are you? What do you like in life? What do you like about you, right? What do you think your strengths are? And sometimes women can't come up with that, right? It's like, well, no, I'm just good. I do this, I do that. I'm in the house. I make dinner.
I'm a wife.
Yeah. So, that's nice. And that's good. Now, underlying, if all that was gone, who are you in your heart, right? What do you like to do? Do you have hobbies? If you look back going, gee, I wish I did that, what would fill in the blank?
Ooh, I like that too. Ooh.
Right? So, because every woman has a dream, and some go, well, I'm never going to get it. Well, you're still here. So why don't we help you get it, or let's get part of it? Like, maybe that dream will change, but let's look at how you do that, right? And what's in your heart to come forward.
Yeah, and I do think that's what ultimately, whether you go to church or you go to temple or wherever, I think that's what God had intended for us, that we live that gift that He has given us, or whatever that is. It could be, you could be a great communicator, you could be an artist, you could be a caregiver, but what is that gift that, you can bring to your family and community? I totally believe that.
It's true. And whatever your gift is, I've had people say, well, I can't make money doing it. I'm like, well, why don't we? Like, let's sit down and put out a plan.
I love that.
Right? Because if it's in your heart and it's something you want to do and you're so passionate about it, that energy itself is something that's going to help attract people who want what you buy. We just need to get it out there for you to see, for them to see it.
I do think, though, that don't you feel like women are raised to feel a bit of guilt for wanting something? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all
Yeah.
raised to be such great caregivers and to do the right thing, but we're not expected to want anything back. And I find that to be a big flaw in our, subconscious minds, I want to say, especially for our age group, from like 40s to 60s in that, range. I find a lot of women have a hard time asking for what they deserve.
That is very, very true, right? Because we grow up with money doesn't grow on trees,
Right.
rich people are selfish. Like you had all these paradigms that
Yes,
were
yes,
given to you as a child. So, and money was one of the things I had to work on, right? Because it's like it would come in and it would go out somewhere,
yeah,
right? Whether it was to a charity or to a child or to something, it
right.
was never stewarded properly. So I had to work on money. And that's another thing we do. It's like, okay, if you're working, and now you want to make some money, what do we do with the money, right? So how do you use it properly that still goes in with your why?
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. So in the future, are we expecting any other books from you? Like, what you said you were writing? What are you writing now?
Right now is the next book in Becoming an Unstoppable Woman, Becoming an Unstoppable Entrepreneur. And that
Nice.
will come out in January. And we have book tours in Miami and New York set up already for March.
So you have to come and visit me.
Yes.
You have to visit me. New York is only like 45 minutes away. So
Oh, absolutely. I love New York.
do you
For
have
sure.
the tour schedule? Do you know what it is? Where you're going to be?
We don't know where we're going to be yet. I know Barnes and Noble is finally jumped on board, so they're doing one in LA in 2 weeks, I believe, and then we're doing the two in March. So I'll keep you posted on where we're going to be, but they have like 4 or 5 different book signings. I think one's March 10th to 14th, and then the other one is the week later.
You have to send me those dates so that I can get them up on the Positive Impact and my Mind Body Mastery Facebook page. So I can let everyone know when you do arrive. That would be fun.
That would be so exciting to see them. These book tours, the women are just having so much fun. And there's usually about 16 to 18 people from the book that can go to each tour. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited I get to do the new ones in 2022.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but the one other thing I wanted to ask was your own personal journey towards success. Do you feel like you've made it? Like you're doing exactly what you want to do, and you've kind of figured it out, or do you think there's more coming?
I think I figured it out for now. And I think, it's my job now to fulfill that and get it out to the world. And I know things are going to change a little bit, probably for the needs of the women that I'll take care of.
Right.
But yeah, I'm always excited on the journey. I'm always excited to learn more and to bring more. So the more I can learn, the more I can help, the more I heal too, then the more I can understand what's going on. So I am, as they say, learning to stay in my lane and and listen and do what I'm supposed to do.
I do think there's a lot of crossover. I mean, I'm a
Mhm.
personal trainer and a healer and a psychic, but I do think, and I'm just going to put up the link to your book here. Hold on a second. I do think, sorry, this is the link, everyone, for the book on Amazon, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. It looks like a bunch of code, but I do think there is a lot of crossover, and the more I talk to professional women, the more I see, like, accountants and lawyers and other women saying the same thing. I had to look inside. I had to do some digging, and I don't think that's unusual. I think it's a natural progression. If you're not getting anywhere, or if you've been devastated by a traumatic event, I don't think it's unusual to want to know what the root was. And I think you did a beautiful job of uncovering that. I really can't wait to see you in person. That's going to be a lot of fun. So anything else that you want to tell us that's like special or unique about the book or yourself?
The book is amazing because you have 25 different women talking about their journey and their mindset and how we got through some things. And some of it is really personal. Like you cry through the book because you can really listen to the person's words and you can feel what they were feeling. And then others are a little more coachable and giving us some information on how to do things. So it is really, really interesting. And in the next book, some of the authors in the first book won't be in the second because they're not entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So that's going to change too. So then you'll have, kind of different, some of the same authors and some different authors, because there's going to probably be 6 books in the series.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
great. And
that was
Unstoppable
exciting.
Woman was the first one, right? Entrepreneur is the second. So you're saying 4 more?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So it'll be very, very cool. And yeah, so I mean, it is neat to just see these women and how they're going. And they range in age. I think Aileen is in Malaysia. She's 18 or 19 to, one of the Alicia's who's 69.
Wow.
So you have a very varied, amazing, just understanding of so many women from 5 different countries, because there's Belfast, there's Malaysia, there's Australia, Canada, and the USA.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And it's such a nice cross section of humanity,
It is. And how everyone is kind of similar but different when it comes to how and what makes them unstoppable. And one lady's like, you're unstoppable, you're unshakable, and you're unbreakable. Like, and when she said, Nicole said that, I'm like, oh, I got chills, right? Because it was like, yes, that's what I want women to understand. And we all kind of do. So it was really nice that we can come together, and with 25 other people, it's been just an awesome, awesome experience and a great ride.
Yay. Just a final, I'm just thinking about my experience with you personally, but I know that, there must be a lot of people out there wondering how they can, get involved, or are there any courses coming up? Are there any clubs coming up? I mean, how can people get involved with the Unstoppable Woman?
The movement.
Yeah, the movement.
The movement. Yes. You can go to SheRisesStudios.com to be part of the movement. Each of us are all part of the movement, so you can certainly join us as well. And on Facebook, you can find me under the Soul Expression Sessions.
Yay.
And those will be coming out as a podcast in November and a TV show in January.
That's so exciting.
So
what network will it be on TV-wise?
It's on Roku, and we're going to be on like 48 different channels. So that will be coming up. And it's through the Wealthy Women's Entrepreneurial Network, which is out of South Carolina. And, Charlotte's got some great things coming up for us. So yeah, the podcast will be out mid-November, and it's exciting. It is really exciting to be able to get out and to now use my voice, right, and increase what I have to do and get it out. And it is. It's a lot of fun and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we'll have to, I'd love to have you back on maybe in January so we can, see how it's going with the podcast.
Yes, and we have new courses coming out. And right now I do one-on-one training, personal training with people, and coaching. So it's a lot of fun.
That's beautiful. I am just so excited. I did an interview last week, Nikki Nash, who's the author of Market Your Genius. And I love having women on in different, everyone's like, oh, but you have a mind body podcast. And I said, no, everything affects your mind and body.
Everything.
Your money, your relationships, everything affects your mind and body. There's nothing that you can cut out and say that's just separate and different. because it does. It affects your root chakra, it affects your heart chakra, your third eye, and your crown chakra. Everything is affected. So, I think the more we have genius people on like yourself, the better off we all are in the bigger picture. So
It's true. It's
coming
true.
on.
Oh, you're welcome. And I just want to give a shout out to you because part of too what stopped me is I was afraid to get my voice out there a little bit. I was nervous to do that, and I was pushing and putting things off, and I was going to put off the podcast. And you went, yeah, but your root chakra is a little stuck. We need to work on this, this, and this. And then as I worked on it, then it didn't seem so big and hairy and scary, right? It was like, okay, again, that's internal to me, and I'm gotta, be more confident with it and allow it and allow what needs to come out. So in doing that, that was huge. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, I love helping in any way possible. My goal is literally, I thought my goal was about weight loss, and yeah, I still help people lose weight and get fit and things like that. But my goal really is now, I realize, is to help each soul align themselves with their soul purpose. Like so many of us are not there, and for one reason or another, either they have trauma, or they went into the wrong education, or they got the wrong job, or they feel like they have too many kids to do anything. So I really love it when I can help empower other people, not just women, but all people,
yes,
to get there, and you were a blessing to work with. It was my pleasure to do that.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to call this a close right here. And last thoughts. You do have a website, or you don't have a website?
It is getting redone. The soulexpressionsessions.com.
Soul Expression Sessions, plural?
Yes.
.com. Okay. So I'm going to put this up there. Check back. I don't know. How long do you think it should take?
She said it's going to take 4 days.
Okay.
So it'll be up by the weekend.
By the weekend. And check it out.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Well, anything that we can do to support each other, I'm all for it. Thank you so much, Alyson, for joining today. It's been a lot of fun. Please, keep us posted on the latest, whatever you're up to and what's coming next. That would be awesome if you could. Oh, Malcolm is here. Oh. Hi, Malcolm.
Hi, Malcolm.
I'm so glad you caught the last 3 seconds of the podcast.
Thanks for jumping on.
Love Malcolm. Hi, girls. Love Malcolm. Malcolm, did you have any questions real quick before we sign off for Alyson and becoming an unstoppable woman, which, I'm sure you're curious about.
For all the women in your life, you can get them a book.
There you go. See? Yeah, you can get them a book. I don't know if he's typing or not, but we're gonna say goodbye. Bye, Malcolm.
Bye, Malcolm. Bye, babies.